I came home early to surprise my spouse with his favorite meal. But instead, I overheard him on a call with his mom, saying he regrets our marriage because I'm dull and lack passion in the bedroom. I'm a 35-year-old woman, married to my 37-year-old husband for 12 years. We have 2 children, our son, Max, age 8, and our daughter, Sophie, age 5. My husband also has a daughter, Ava, 16, from his previous marriage, who mostly lives with her mother but visits us often. Our marriage always seemed steady, if somewhat predictable. I never saw routine as a negative. We both work, raise our kids, and make time for occasional date nights. Yesterday, I planned to surprise my husband with his favorite homemade pasta dish after he mentioned a tough week at work. I left work early, grabbed groceries, and headed home. His car was in the driveway, which was odd since he's usually not home until later. I assumed he'd also left work early. I entered quietly, hoping to start cooking before he noticed. As I stepped inside, I heard his voice from the living room, loud enough to carry. He was on the phone and I caught my name. He said, "I regret marrying her, Mom. She's so dull and predictable, like living with a roommate, and in bed she's completely lifeless." I stood frozen in the hallway, my heart racing, a sick feeling in my stomach. I couldn't stop listening. He was venting to his mother, of all people, unloading his frustrations about me. He continued, "I've been talking to this woman at work. She's everything she's not. Vibrant, exciting, she gets me. It's not physical yet, but emotionally I feel alive for the first time in years. We're planning to be together after I leave her. I can't take this anymore, but I don't want to stir things up before the holidays. I'll tell her I want a divorce after New Year's. I can't stand another year with her. I shouldn't have chosen someone so safe. I thought it's what I wanted, but I'm suffocating." I must have made a sound because he suddenly said, "I'll call you back, Mom," and stopped talking. Then he rounded the corner and saw me standing there, clutching the grocery bag. I think I dropped a package of noodles. He looked stunned to see me home. I asked softly, "Is that really what you think of me?" His face turned red and he stammered, "Why are you home early?" I explained I'd come back to make him dinner, but clearly I'd interrupted something. He stayed silent, just running a hand through his hair, looking guilty. I repeated what I'd heard. "You regret marrying me? I'm that boring to you? You're having an affair." At first, he tried to brush it off, saying, "It's not like that. I haven't slept with anyone. I was just venting to Mom because we've had issues." That infuriated me. What issues? He'd never mentioned any of this to me directly. Sure, our life's been routine, but we have young kids and demanding jobs. Life isn't a constant adventure, and I didn't know he expected it to be. I told him I'd heard enough to know he's planning to leave me for this coworker. He didn't deny it. Instead, he got defensive, saying, "I wasn't going to act on it now. I didn't want to ruin the holidays for the kids. Can we just hold off on this?" I was floored by his nerve, expecting me to act like everything was fine through Christmas and New Year's while he planned his exit. I could hardly look at him. I said I wouldn't pretend everything was okay. I asked who this coworker was. He admitted he'd grown close to a woman at his office, talking outside work as friends. He insisted it wasn't physical yet. That word, yet, stuck with me like the only issue was timing. Our argument escalated. I wasn't calm. I demanded to know how he could say such hurtful things about me, especially to his mother. He rolled his eyes and said, "Well, it's true. You're an amazing mom and handle all the practical stuff, but there's no spark anymore. I haven't felt it in years." I snapped back. "So sneaking around and bad-mouthing me to your mom is easier than talking to me?" He claimed he didn't want to hurt me by bringing it up sooner. How is this less painful? I told him if he wants out, he should leave now, not after the holidays. The kids aren't clueless, and I wasn't going to play happy wife while he texts his exciting coworker. At that moment, our son Max walked in, dropped off by a neighbor from a playdate. We went quiet. My husband shot me a look and muttered, "We'll talk later," then greeted Max like nothing was wrong. I wanted to scream but held it together for my son. That evening was torture, pretending everything was normal during dinner. I stayed quiet, listening to my husband chat with Max about school and Sophie about her drawings, acting like we hadn't just fought. I was fuming, replaying his words, dull, lifeless regret. After the kids were in bed, he wanted to talk again. He suggested we be practical and figure out how to keep things stable for the kids. He even proposed living together for a few weeks to avoid disruption. I told him he made his choice when he started this affair and decided I was too boring. I wasn't going to play happy wife while he lied to my face. I asked if his coworker knew he was delaying their romance until after the holidays. He got mad, saying, "It's not a romance. We just have feelings. I didn't plan this, okay?" I've been unhappy with us. He blamed me for being unappreciative and uninterested in spontaneity, which is absurd. He's always too tired for outings, and I don't recall him suggesting anything adventurous. It became a blame game. Finally, I'd had enough. I told him to pack a bag and leave, go to his mom's, his coworkers, anywhere but here. I couldn't share a bed with him. He argued, "Why should I leave? This is my house too," I shot back. "Because you're the one planning to cheat. I'm not living with your guilt." I admit I snapped, saying, "If I'm so unbearable, go stay with someone exciting." Not my proudest moment, but I was devastated. He packed a bag and before leaving said, "Let's not do anything drastic yet. We'll cool off and talk soon." I just told him to go. He looked upset, maybe more at the mess than at hurting me. As he left, he said, "I'll call to check on the kids tomorrow." I spent the night numb, unable to sleep. The next morning, I put on a brave face for the kids, getting them to school and daycare. They were confused about their dad's absence, but I said he was helping their grandma. Now, a week before Christmas, instead of holiday cheer, I'm dealing with calls from my mother-in-law, who claims I'm overreacting. Apparently, my husband went to his parents' house. She called, saying he's heartbroken I kicked him out and I'm making a big deal out of a small issue before the holidays. She actually said, "Men have needs, dear. All marriages have ups and downs. Couldn't you wait to sort this out for the kids' sake?" I hung up after telling her to stay out of it. My parents are furious for me and want me to bring the kids to their place, but they're hours away, and I don't want to disrupt the kids' Christmas. I'm still reeling, wondering if I should have handled it differently for the kids' sake. My husband and his mom think I should have played along through the holidays and dealt with divorce later. So am I wrong for confronting him and disrupting our marriage right before Christmas? Update 1. Thank you all for the overwhelming support. I didn't expect so much attention. The consensus seems to be that I'm not wrong for standing up for myself, and I appreciate the validation. Some of you gave great advice, and while I can't reply to everyone, here's what's happened since my post. It's now 2 days before Christmas. My husband is still at his parents' house and calls daily to talk to the kids. I keep it about the kids, letting them chat while I stay brief with him. The morning after our fight, he sent a long text apologizing for how I found out, but not for what he said. It was something like, "I'm sorry you heard it that way. I was just venting and didn't mean to hurt you." He still wants to act normal for the holidays and suggested we discuss our future after New Year's. He even proposed coming home for Christmas Eve and morning for the kids, then staying elsewhere while we sort out separation or divorce. I haven't agreed. I told him I need time to think. Honestly, I don't want to pretend everything's fine. Max, our 8-year-old, senses something's wrong. He asked why his dad isn't home and why I'm upset. I said we had a big argument and need space, assuring him we both love him and Sophie. He got quiet and asked about divorce, probably from a friend or TV. It broke my heart. I said nothing's decided, but we'll always love them. Sophie's too young to understand, thinking her dad's just at grandma's. I know some say not to lie to kids, but I want them to have a happy Christmas without this looming over them. As for Christmas plans, after I didn't agree to his idea, my husband asked to meet in person without the kids. We met yesterday at a diner for coffee. It was tense. He apologized again for how I found out, but I pointed out he wouldn't be sorry if he hadn't said those things or started an affair. He called affair a strong word since it's not physical. I said emotional betrayal hurts just as much. I told him I want a divorce. I can't trust him, and I'm not fixing a marriage he finds unfulfilling. He weakly suggested counseling but didn't seem committed. I asked about the coworker, whether he's still in contact. He dodged, saying it's not relevant to co-parenting. I pressed if he's seeing her over the holidays. He said he's staying with his parents and won't see her, but he didn't promise to cut contact. We agreed on a holiday plan. He can come over Christmas morning for a few hours to watch the kids open gifts, but no staying overnight or acting like a happy couple. I'll be civil for the kids, but that's it. My conditions: we stay polite in front of the kids, no gift exchanges between us, and he leaves by early afternoon. I'll take the kids to my parents later for dinner, which will be my escape. He agreed without argument, which is good but frustrating. He's so cooperative for the kids but couldn't be for me. Other updates: legal steps. I consulted a divorce attorney, as some of you suggested. I have a meeting post-New Year's to file formally. The lawyer advised securing my income and not making big financial moves yet. I have a separate account for my salary, but we have joint savings I may need to protect. The lawyer said since he left voluntarily, I don't have to let him back in and I shouldn't leave the house. It could affect who keeps it. Living situation. He's still at his parents' and took more belongings there. I changed the locks for peace of mind the day after he left. The lawyer said it's a gray area since it's joint property, but he hasn't fought it. Family. My mother-in-law backed off after I hung up on her but sent a passive-aggressive text about praying for us. My parents are supportive, urging me to stay strong. I'll visit them with the kids on Christmas for some comfort. I'm still a wreck, but I'm managing for the kids. Nights are tough. I swing between heartbreak, anger, and odd relief at knowing the truth. At least I'm not questioning my sanity anymore. Christmas is almost here, and I'll update after the holidays if anything major happens. Update 2. I've been meaning to update, but life's been hectic. Thank you all for the support. It's meant so much. Here's what's happened since. Christmas went as well as it could. My husband came over Christmas morning as planned. I was nervous, but we kept it civil, focusing on the kids. Max and Sophie were thrilled, and I don't think they noticed the tension. We smiled, had coffee and pastries, and watched them open gifts. My husband stayed about 3 hours. At one point, I saw him looking around the living room, maybe realizing this was our last family Christmas. I didn't ask what he was thinking. I didn't want to get emotional. When he left, Sophie was upset, wanting him to stay and play. He promised to visit soon. Max was quieter, sensing something's off. I saw tears in my husband's eyes as he hugged the kids goodbye. He thanked me for letting him come, and I just nodded. No drama, but no warmth either. After he left, I took the kids to my parents for a few days. It was a relief. My parents spoiled them, and I had space to breathe. I broke down crying with my mom after the kids were asleep, but I felt better the next day. My parents urged me to follow through with the divorce and not let him delay things. By New Year's, we were home. My husband took the kids for lunch and a movie on New Year's Day. Being alone in the house was strange. It hit me that I'll have more solo time with a custody schedule. It's bittersweet. I love my kids, but the idea of personal time feels new. On the legal front, I met my lawyer in early January. She's sharp and thorough. We discussed finances, assets, and custody. It's complex. We have a mortgage, savings, retirement accounts, and 2 cars. He earns more than I do, so child support could be significant. I could file for adultery or irreconcilable differences, but I chose the latter to keep things cleaner. We filed for divorce 2 weeks ago. I informed him through my lawyer to avoid surprises. He's hired a lawyer too, but isn't fighting the divorce itself, just some terms. Custody is the main issue. I want primary physical custody, with him getting every other weekend and a weeknight. He's pushing for 50-50 time, which surprised me. He's never been the primary parent, with his long work hours and travel. I think it's about reducing child support. I told him via lawyers that 50-50 isn't practical with his schedule. He suggested nannies or his parents helping, but I'm not okay with that. His parents aren't exactly my fans, and I don't want the kids shuffled around. He accused me of cutting him out, which isn't true. I've offered flexible visitation. We might need mediation. For now, he sees the kids every other weekend, daytime, and 1 evening weekly. It's working, but Max gets moody after visits, likely processing his feelings. Both kids are in therapy, which is helping. As for the coworker, I'm pretty sure they're together now, likely physically. He's moved into a rental apartment, and when I dropped the kids off, I noticed women's items, a jacket, a second toothbrush. He hasn't introduced her to the kids, and I hope he waits. I'll address it calmly when the time comes. A mutual acquaintance from his office messaged me, apologizing and implying the office knows he's with her. He's not hiding it anymore. Financially, we'll sell the house after the school year. It's too big for me and the kids alone. I'm staying here, paying the mortgage with his temporary help. We've split most bank accounts, and I moved half the savings to my account. He's arguing his recent work bonus shouldn't count as a marital asset, but my lawyer's fighting that. We communicate mostly through email or lawyers with brief, awkward talks during kid exchanges. He apologized again once, saying he never meant to hurt me. I said, "It is what it is. Let's focus on the kids." He's not fighting the divorce, but wants maximum kid time and minimal financial loss. I spoke briefly with his first ex-wife, Ava's mom. She was kind, offering help and hinting he strayed in their marriage too. She said he's always chasing something better, but realizes too late what he's lost. It's oddly comforting. It's not just me. His new relationship might feel thrilling now, but real life will set in. That's not my concern anymore. I'm managing, working, caring for the kids, leaning on friends and family. Some days I forget this is my life now, then it hits me. Other days I feel hopeful about a fresh start. I'll update when the divorce is finalized or if something big happens. Thank you all for the support. It's kept me going.